Oh yeah, so Bobby, pretty big milestone year. The club must be really excited.
Absolutely, yeah. It's huge for the club, huge for the community. It's been a mainstay of this community, obviously forever, for 100 years, and it's exciting that we're going to celebrate it how it deserves.
What's the secret? It seems like it's harder and harder to keep community clubs alive these days, and you guys are out here in the middle of nowhere. What's the secret?
Yeah, well, we talk about it ourselves internally a lot, but in the documentary series we've done, we've interviewed a lot of people, and it comes back to culture and the people and the care for people. We've won plenty of premierships here, but it's not all about that. It's about enjoying our time here and getting people to fall in love with the place so they keep coming back.
I guess there's a sense of pride as well. I think they're the only club in the former association, I guess, that's managed to survive this long, so that's a bit of a badge.
Yeah, it is. And originally they, when we applied to join in the 1920s, they said, "Oh, we better give them a go. They won't last long," and we've outlasted everyone.
What's the old division again?
It was the West Tamar Football Association.
Yeah, nice. So I guess those sort of stories will be brought up over and over again over this year, and I guess that suggests sort of something that, like you say, the club takes a lot of pride in to prove people wrong.
Yeah, absolutely we do, and yeah, we do bring it up plenty of times, and yeah.
Talk us through some of, I guess, the moments that you're going to use to mark the occasion. I think you said the other day you might have some heritage jumpers and during games during the year and things like that.
Yeah, we do. In a game in May, it's 100 years and one day from when we played our first ever roster game. So we've marked that occasion with games against Georgetown here. Have been a rival for decades, and we will wear two of our previous Guernseys. One was the original worn in the 1920s, and the other one was a sash Guernsey, which was worn from the late 40s through to early 2000s. And yeah, we've got a gala dinner in the 26th of July at the casino, which will announce our team of the century. We've got past players' days here as well through the year, and we started with the season launch last night, which we played the trailer of our documentary series, and that will be running in the lead up to our gala dinner through our social media.
I think the 50 players that have it's been narrowed down to, it might be announced today, but I guess even streamlining that down to 50 after 100 years is tough, but then getting that down to the 22 or so that get in the team is tougher again. Yeah,
it is. I mean, what we had done in 1999, we had selected two teams of each era, so from 1925 to 1970 and then 1971 to 1999, so that made it a bit easier. And then we had team of the decades for the last 2 decades, which helped a little bit, but there's been a lot of very, very good players come through this club, so it's never easy, and some will have different opinions, and but it creates conversation.
So,
okay.
Alvin, people might say that you and the club have both had a pretty good run. What you've been around the club your whole life, have you?
Yes, right from the very start.
What's your earliest memory from here?
Pulling ferns to start off the season down on the old ground before we could even start training. That was back in the 1900s. And of course, since we've been here, it's been marvellous. We had no showers, no nothing down there. But, we had 18 players, and that was it. No reserves for kick-off.
I guess when the club first started, did you ever think that it would last 100 years and you'd be sitting here today, I guess, celebrating its 100 years?
Well, I didn't actually, but my dad was secretary of the club in 1929 when they won their first flag, and I was secretary in 1949 when we won our first one after the war. So it was a fair difference.
I think you were gatekeeper for 40 odd years, so that's just, I guess, your way of staying involved with the club that it sounds like you've been so passionate about, to stay involved with different roles like that.
Yeah, I've done nearly everything actually. I've played and I've been delegate for the association and worked on the gate as a gatekeeper and nearly everything actually, till I got too old.
What is it about the club that you think that has sort of I guess allowed it to survive for so long? Bobby talks about the culture, but what do you think it is?
Bobby was spot on there. It's always been a great culture here. I know I was on the committee after I finished even playing, and anyone with a doubtful reputation, they got sent down the road fairly quickly. I think most parents, they don't hesitate to send their young boys to Bridgenorth now because we've got such a good culture.
Yeah.
That's why we've got plenty of players.
And it seems there's quite a strong community here too.
It is actually, for considering we haven't got a hotel or a shop or a post office or anything like that. It's just we're the one that's survived, you know.
I guess, like you say, it is like I guess the club with no town. Basically, it's sort of just the footy club is the whole central point of the entire place that keeps the community going, isn't it?
And we've got a close association, of course, now with Lagana, but that's gone ahead in leaps and bounds, as everybody knows. And we do train there. I think we're going to train there maybe once a week, I think, from what I've heard, on that new ground. So we've had a great amount of support from the surrounding districts. You know, they've taken us, Winkley and Glengarry and Rosevale and everything. They've come from everywhere to play for Bridgenorth, you know.
In those formative years, like the first few sort of couple of decades or so, I guess the team sort of play with a bit of a small club mentality, and we'll show what we're made of, I guess, and play with a bit of chip on your shoulder that way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the first few years we only had the one team, and then we got reserves, and then of course now we've got under 18s and women. And started up with 18 players when I started, and I reckon now we've got 100 and some plenty over, I think, really.
Yeah.
What I've heard.
Do you reckon the club will still be here in another 100 years' time?
I certainly hope so. Yeah. I won't be around, of course. I've had my 100 years.
Yeah, well, I come here as a young bloke, about 16, and come through the gates and played a game for under 18s, and basically haven't left.
Where did you come from initially before going to?
Played all my junior footy in the community, so down at Beauty Point Mini League, and tamed my junior cats, and ended up here.
Yeah, nice. I guess I think you're the last flag-winning captain. I think 15 years ago now. No doubt you'd like to hand that baton over pretty soon. But talk us through those memories of that period.
We had a pretty good run there. Say a good run. We won one premiership. We lost quite a few, unfortunately, but it was certainly good to get one flag, especially as captain.
Yeah. A lot of people, I know you're not going to teach your own horn, but a lot of people think regard you as one of the best, if not the best player to come out of here. So what does that mean when people say those things about you, and the club has had 100 years of history?
I guess it's flattering. I was quite successful up here. It was just good to stick around through good times and through tough times too. It wasn't all fun and games. We had some tough years, and it was good to stick around and help the club out.
Were you on ball? What type of game did you play back in the day?
Mostly like centre half forward, centre half back, sort of key position. Yeah.
Do you find it easy to keep people to hang around the club, or a bit of a challenge? How do you find getting people to come back year after year?
Well, they just keep coming through the gates. Like it was mentioned about culture, and it's just a great spot, great club to be around. So they tend to come and they tend to stay, which is really good.
It's a pretty unique sort of club, isn't it? I guess, like I was saying before, the footy club's kind of really the epicentre of the entire community, with not much around it. So I guess does everyone take a little bit of pride in the fact that I guess the heartbeat of the place is the football club. So yeah.
Absolutely. Like we've been in a half hour. I think we've heard one car go past, which is the beauty of this place. You come out here and it's dead still, quiet. There's no town. It's a beautiful place to be, and just to look around, the amount of support and signs we've got up around here, the people that are behind the club, is amazing.
Like I said before, I guess the last skipper to win the flag, but no doubt you'd like to see the next one come through. Like you feel like the club's well positioned to make that happen pretty soon, next few years, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the women won the grand final last year. The under-18s were only a few points out of it. And the rest of the reserves and seniors were always building, always trying to build and better ourselves. So we've been successful, and I think there's more success to come.